Hello everyone, my name is Caleb Durham, and for this project I chose From Training Institution to Workplace Towards a Training Model in the Industrial Training Institutes. The article covers research formed on training workforce in the industrial field. The writer very clearly made each point. He walks the reader through the paper and broke it down by section. He describes each step in the research process methodically. I have the script over here and the paper here so you can very clearly see it. I'm not trying to swap out in between each one. I made notes as I went through the paper, looking for the different things that we were asked to look for in our paper. He mainly uses passive voice in this article by clearly explaining how the research was performed and then explaining the results to the reader. He did not actively talk because it was not ongoing anymore. He had finished his research and he was talking about the research afterwards, and this is what this paper is. So that's why I said that he used passive. The tone and vocabulary is used adequately. The writer did not use terms or references that any common person would not understand. I did not see anything in here that was too far-fetched that someone couldn't understand what he's talking about. The writer uses his reporting verbs well in this article by pointing out the findings, pointing out things other writers suggested in their writings, and interpreting it all in a clear way for the reader to understand. That one's long enough. I don't feel like I need to elaborate on that one. Summary paraphrase is used commonly throughout this article. I did not see any. Okay, I did see some direct quotations. There are some down near the bottom, mainly from verbal direct of what somebody said. Some books I think he used, but it was mainly I've seen him just kind of paraphrase different things and never directly quote, except for the few times that he did. Seems also that the writer used parenthetical citations prominently throughout this article. He also used integral citing as well, though. When I was writing this, I looked at it, I was like, well, he kind of used both, but it was more of a 70-30 is my guess. He used parenthetical much more than he did the integral, from what I could see. The section headings reflect classic division of an empirical research article. He broke it down very well, as you can see. The statement of the problem, the research question, method of how he went about it, getting the results, everything he did, it was all set. It was set up in that format. It was very clear to read and understand. I believe that the results section had the most citations. Some of them are quotations from students, and others are quotations from other writers. Let's skip down real quick and go down. Here's what I'm talking about. Some stuff like this right here, and these are used in a very large amount in this last section, so that's why I answered that question with saying that they were probably all used predominantly in here. He paraphrased a lot throughout this paper or this article up in this section, but I feel like he probably used more citations below when he quoted to other people. This is we had to note diagrams or graphs or something that the writer used. This is a drawing diagram of how the work-based learning models work. It's a proposed model of work-based learning at training institution. Training characteristics, curriculum and training system, pedagogy, training facilities, instructors' experience, relationships. It all revolves around work-based learning model. I believe that is all of the sticky notes. It's a really good and very interesting article. We'll probably definitely be using it in my paper. The other things that we needed to mention and talk about, the transitions. Transitions were used well. Each paragraph started without a transition. I think every paragraph started without a transition, but when he transitioned inside of a paragraph, he used proper methods. There wasn't anything that it looked just kind of funky or weird or It didn't look correct. Everything seemed well written. Attributors to sources. He mainly used his sources as notes in his article to build it up. He did not introduce them much, but merely plugged them into the paper as he wrote it. Reason I said that is because when he paraphrased, he didn't say, well, so and so said such. You could see it looked more like he just put stuff in there and plugged it into the paper so you could understand that he had referenced it, but he wasn't elaborating on who it was while they referenced it and stuff like that. Self-mentions. The paper is written in a third-person format. Hedges. He used Hedges a couple of times, but most of his sources were well placed and helped his arguments stand firm. Boosters. I don't believe the writer really used boosters in this article. He stuck to the points and used facts and citations to prove his points. So I don't think I really feel like there was any boosters in there. Attitude markers. I did not really see attitude markers in this article. The writer seemed to provide the evidence and points, but keep his opinion out of it. And I thought that was very interesting about this paper because you can definitely get an opinion about this, especially if you've worked in the environment. I have a very strong opinion about it. And I think that he done really well with keeping it straight to the facts and keeping it all straightforward and kind of laid it out there. Here's the raw meat of it. He didn't really put his insight into it. But that is it for my video, and thanks for watching.